Hello, and welcome to the Guildhall. My name is Guildhall. Today I'd like to take just a minute to speak about Polonius's monologue to Laertes in Act 1, Scene 3 of Shakespeare's Hamlet. If you're unfamiliar or would like a refresher, I recommend you go over to the Guildhall's Shakespeare section and give our performance a listen. Now, for some context. Polonius is the advisor to the King of Denmark, and his son Laertes is looking to travel abroad once more to continue business ventures and studying. Laertes has received the blessing of both his father and the king, and in this scene, as he prepares to leave, Polonius returns to speak to him once again and to reinstate his blessing. Of course, that blessing will come with a few caveats. These caveats take the forms of do's, but not too muches. For example, he tells Polonius to be frugal, save his money, but not save so much money and be so frugal that he appears poor. There are many other such examples, but they all follow that main formula of do this, but not too much or too little. There are many themes in Shakespeare's Hamlet. Three that shine comedically in this monologue are familial relationships, selfishness, and hypocrisy. It can most certainly be said that Polonius cares for his son Laertes, a direct contrast to Hamlet and his uncle's relationship. However, Polonius isn't just giving this advice because he cares about his son. No, he cares about his image as well. And Laertes is a direct reflection of Polonius's fathership. Polonius says, be frugal, save your money, but don't save so much of your money that you appear poor. I can't have my son looking like a poor person. A back and forth dance between hypocritical selfishness and familial care takes place in each line of Polonius's monologue. He'll say something heartfelt to Laertes, such as, be safe, be cautious, but will always follow it up with the slightly poking, slightly prodding, slightly commanding caveat. These selfish commands take on a hypocritical guise as wisdom, both to stop Laertes from tarnishing the name that Polonius has built, but also to make Polonius feel wiser in the moment. He's making himself feel like he's a good father by giving advice that is complicated and wise to his son. He feels like he's molding him and guiding him the way that a father should, when in all reality, he's just preserving hypocritical ideas under the guise of familial care. Now, again, I'll remind you, he isn't fully selfish and hypocritical. He does care about his son, and the first part of those lines show that. But he can't help but also stroke his own ego and try to preserve his own image. We've all seen or experienced a parent that lords over their child a little bit, hovers around the shoulder. Nowadays, we call them helicopter parents, but as we can see here, they predate the invention of the helicopter. In fact, Polonius, once Laertes leaves, even sends a spy after Laertes to make sure that he isn't messing up and that he is following the image that Polonius wants for him. Now, this is where the irony really takes hold, where the dialogue goes from just being a helicopter parent to being a humorous situation. One of the last things Polonius says to Laertes is, to thine own self be true. Polonius is saying this because it is sound advice, but also because he wants to feel, as a parent, that he is giving Laertes the respect and freedom that he deserves. Something he clearly doesn't legitimately feel, because he has just spent the majority of the monologue saying, be this, but don't be this. Follow this image, don't follow that. Be exactly what I want you to be and nothing else. But of course, to thine own self be true. Be yourself, as long as that self is the carefully fabricated image of you that I have created. But the absurdity of the situation doesn't stop there. Because of course Laertes would probably be a little annoyed and peeved by the controlling nature of his father. But only moments before Polonius walks into the room, Laertes tells the exact same things to his younger sister, Ophelia. This very scene starts with Laertes going to his sister Ophelia and saying, "Do not pursue Hamlet romantically. I know you have feelings for him. I think he has feelings for you, but it is bad for our image. A prince and a commoner, they don't mix." Now, of course, whoever you fall in love with, be with that person, but this cannot be real love because of how bad for our image it would be. He even goes as far as to give her a explicit command, saying, "I command you not to pursue Hamlet." It seems the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree, does it, Polonius? And here we see that Laertes, although he may be annoyed with his father, did the exact same thing to his sister, which is a tad bit sad, but also very ironic. Shakespeare most certainly knew all of this and wrote the familial drama on purpose, both to accent the themes of hypocrisy and selfishness in his story, but also because he knew that his audience, for the large part, would be able to sympathize and recognize the situation, having heard it or experienced it themselves. And here Shakespeare calls out his audience in a subtle way. He says, "Oh, you have sympathy for Laertes and his situation? Well, that's hypocritical, because he has done the very same things that are now evoking your sympathy." These archetypes are ironic, funny. They're something that we as an audience can sympathize with very often, but they are also a statement about parenting and acceptance. Sure, Shakespeare writes, "To thine own self be true," as a bit of a joke and an ironic statement at the end of this long winded speech about what exactly to be, but it is still very genuine and very real advice. Something that he hopes the audience is able to take away, and something that I hope we all do. Thank you for listening to this little rant of mine. I hope it helped you understand Hamlet a little bit better, or even understand that Shakespeare isn't quite as intimidating or complicated as it may seem. I hope that you all have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in the Guildhall.